Shay?
Good morning, boys. How are we on a Monday, training camp Monday?
All good, kid.
We're great. We're great. After the storms last night, we're great. I think we're all good.
My trees down all over Jackson Park and in South Shore. I had to dodge. It's like I felt like I was playing a video game trying to go around that stuff. It was bad. I didn't know how bad it was until I woke up this morning.
Did you see the photo on social media of 3 lightning bolts simultaneously hitting the Sears Tower, Trump Tower, and the Hancock Tower at the same time?
Yeah,
I saw that
cool.
this morning. There's no way it's real, but apparently it was a real photo that was captured.
Well, you know it's real. It's a real storm when on the news they're breaking into sporting events, and then they're also saying, we know that you think that tornadoes can't touch down in the downtown area, but if you're in a skyscraper, you might want to start heading to lower floors. Ooh, that was a rough storm last night.
I will open up the back door and say this because Peacock works at NBC. The amount of listener complaints about people breaking into programming for weather is amazing. She shows me some of the letters.
Yeah.
I know she's going to kill me when I get home, but I have to bring this up because it's still a public service. I know we have the information on our phones. I know that we have social media, all that, but it's up to the meteorologists to be able to say, hey, man, listen, I know that you're watching Big Brother or you're watching your favorite sporting event or whatever, but we just want you to be aware that you probably should get to the basement or the attic or someplace safe. I know it's annoying for some, and you prefer maybe the side-by-side, especially during college football season. But it's a public service. People need to know.
The issue last night during the Copa America final was that they went soccer small box, weather big box.
Did you get a Mark Strell?
No, it was who I don't know.
Big Mark Strell? No.
I'm just saying, like, can I have the sports in the big box?
I understand.
Like, the alert is fine. Like, I have no problem with the alert on the screen, and you telling me that there's a twister coming at my house. There's no problem with that. But can I get the large box for the soccer, please?
The alert also a problem during DVR programs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That doesn't...
You want the dialogue going beep beep? Damn it! I missed it. but they're doing a public service though, right? They're supposed to be doing that.
Which I'm totally okay with. I don't mind it. I just can I get the big box?
Huh?
Large box, please, for my football.
Oh, there's something
right,
that you and I.
Large
that's
box.
something that you and I can agree with.
Okay. All right. Good.
Here's Shane Norling. Shane.
Rookies report to camp tomorrow for the Bears. Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze are still unsigned. They have not signed the dotted line on their contracts. We've talked about this being kind of a non-story. Hoodie, you believe it's a Hard Knocks ploy, but now, like, you're really up against the clock. The first practices for rookies starting tomorrow, and no contract signatures from either of the Bears' first-round picks. Shot or no shot, there is reason for concern now.
That's a no shot. This is a television event. This will be a story on our show this week. I'm talking about in a positive way that they've signed. And then after that, that'll be all. I believe this is something where it was going to be on one of the cameras that they will sign and it'll be taken care of. Only reason why is because Caleb Williams or Roma Dunze, they can't circumvent the system. They can't get around it, Chris. It's just what it is. I mean, there's no extra perks. The rookie contract is what the rookie contract is. They ain't going anywhere.
It's been reported that Caleb wants to break the mold for quarterbacks and quarterback contracts. That's out there, and each minute that passes as we head towards tomorrow morning, I'm starting to get more concerned. I thought this would happen over the weekend and we would be good. I know you keep pointing to the Hard Knocks situation. Will they sign in front of the cameras to make it a big deal? I just want them there and signed. And you said this week, does that mean before 10 o'clock? Will we get this done today? Tomorrow? Is it going to happen in the morning? Like, will this happen before 8:30 today and Jesse gets bumped? Like, how are we handling? You know what I mean? Like, this has got to happen pretty soon, or it's going to be a major story.
I'm not concerned.
If Caleb's not there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not concerned. I'm just not. I just think
each minute that passes, I'm starting to get concerned.
No, I think it's fine, Chris. I think it's fine. First of all, they're going to be on the field. I don't think there's going to be this major controversy with their signing late or signing on time. I think it's going to be just fine. The other thing is, too, is that if this happens, then for sure Caleb will be trying to get a piece of the Chicago Bears. That'll be the next thing, trying to be able to be part owner of the Chicago Bears.
Well, you mentioned the rookie contract is essentially, when you're a first-round pick, it's all kind of in the CBA. It's all set for you. There's not a lot you can really change. That second deal, though, if Caleb shows up and balls out for 2+ seasons,
Yeah.
the Bears better be ready to pay someone as the highest paid quarterback in the NFL and for him to want to break the mold. Because that's what's going to happen with the second contract.
Yeah, that's the going rate.
That's what's going to happen with this second deal. If there's any hang up here for this first one, that second one's it's going to be a much bigger deal from Caleb's point of view.
Yeah, Shay, despite the satellite lawsuit that's going on with the NFL, the number will continue to raise. It'll find its way back up there again. It might level off after this deal because it's as they're appealing right now, aren't they, Shay, with the NFL and Dish? I think there's an appeal process. Okay, even if it levels off, it'll get back up there again where you're going to pay quarterbacks in excess of 60, 70 million. It's what it is. It's the going rate. As ridiculous as it sounds to longtime sports fans, that's how valuable the position is. The quarterback position is in the NFL, that you'd pay that much because it matters. Here's Shay Darling. Yay, Jay.
Jalen Johnson continued his media tour, talked with Rich Eisen.
What is that, Jay Moore? Is there a celebration behind you?
Yeah, they had a good time at ABC.
All right, good.
Jalen Johnson on with Rich Eisen was asked and talked about Justin Fields' time in Chicago. Listen to this.
It was unfortunate. I think kind of him departing wasn't a surprise, but I definitely feel like it was definitely unfortunate. But again, it's the business of it. Sometimes you get kind of pushed out just through the time and just through when you come into a situation. So I feel like overall, I feel like he gave his heart to the team. He gave his heart to Chicago. I mean, it was never anything short than his full effort. So I think for me to definitely love and respect Justin as a human, as a quarterback, but I think he was just in an unfortunate situation coming in when he came in.
Basically said Justin Fields never got a fair shake in Chicago. I've openly disagreed. Shot or no shot, Justin Fields never got a fair shot in Chicago.
No shot. Next.
Don't care to expound on that?
No, you get 3 years to start in the NFL. You got to win at some point. He had, 35 starts in a Bears uniform? I mean, I don't want to recap our shows from December, January, heading into February before we knew the Bears were absolutely moving on. But he had the time. He could have proven that he was an above average quarterback. He didn't do it. He was given the opportunity. That's a fair shake.
It is a fair shake. Anytime that you get a certain amount of starts in the National Football League, when you are the guy, when you have to look over your shoulder and you fall short, it's just not true. If you want to throw out the first year and say, well, this is a rebuilding year, fine. But the point is, though, is that a fair shake, what is a fair shake? Is a fair shake sticking with a quarterback for a decade and never getting to where you need to be? I mean, this is not the 80s, man. I mean, you have to, in this league, you move on quickly. I don't care what position it is. If you feel like you can be able to upgrade the position or you feel that position's underachieving and you want to replace it with someone else, that's how it works. You don't have 5 to 10 years to wait anymore. That's how I grew up, Chris, of someone that sucked, that wasn't right for the position, but they stuck with him anyway because that's the contract and we're going to develop him. And you have to understand that teams move on today. It's quicker than it's ever have been before with sports and athletes. If you underachieve, you're out.
Of course.
You don't have time for the grass to grow.
Caleb Williams underachieves, he'll be out too. That's the way sports work. This isn't intramurals. Like a fair shake. He was quarterback for 3 years. Hey, they go up to Green Bay in the final week of the season. They can't score over 10 points. Didn't they score 9? I mean, what are we talking about? I get it. Like, he's a player. He's a part of the team. He's not going to trash Justin Fields on the way out. They all liked him. So, yeah, he's one of their guys. But that's a fair shake. I'm sorry. If you get one season or like a half season and you're injured and then they move on, then it's like, all right, you didn't really get to see it. Justin Fields played. He played a lot. That's a fair shake.
It is a fair shake. I don't. First of all, it was a choice. His choice is someone who's a Pittsburgh Steelers or your own team. He chose the guy that's with the Steelers. That's what Jalen Johnson did. He did. Instead of saying, well, we've moved on, I hope the best for Justin. Nah, the Bears didn't give him a fair shake. Okay. So now you have a problem with the Bears management in that regard?
Well, I mean,
that's what it sounds like.
I don't think he has a problem with the management. I think he's just resigned to what it was when he came in, that the coach was kind of dead man walking and the situation was never great around field, so he didn't get the chance to shine. But
that's a shot at management.
Maybe. When I think
what do you mean maybe? Is a direct shot saying that, well, they didn't give him a fair shake. So now you have a problem with them for not giving your friend a fair shake.
I think he's okay. My read on it is he's okay with who's managing it now. He just thinks the timing was wrong for Justin, and what happened to him wasn't necessarily his fault.
Like, that type of thing really bothers me because from fans, it seems like some expect every team to always have a perfect situation for a player to work out. You know, you got to line up the GM and the coach and the player. They all have to be on the same timeline. Otherwise, that player's never going to win. And that player is only good if he's on the same timeline as a coach. I'm sorry. He had every opportunity to be a good quarterback. He's not a good quarterback. Therefore, the team is moving on. It's pretty simple. If Jalen Johnson wasn't good in coverage, then the Bears would move on.
Yes.
He's had a fair shake. He's been here for a moment. Fortunately for us, he's one of the best corners in football. So we got a new deal. That's the way it works.
He's going to ball out in Pittsburgh. Shay.
All right, the MLB draft began yesterday. The White Sox made their first pick at 5, where they selected Arkansas pitcher Hagen Smith.
Yeah.
Dude is awesome.
Yeah, he's a real deal, brother.
Power pitcher, lefty, big. Like, this is a really good player. However, the expectation going in was that the White Sox would focus on getting a bat. They are bereft of bats in their farm system outside of the top-level guys like Colson Montgomery. And a lot of people had the thought, well, what's really the impact of a college bat? You don't have to look very far. The Rookie of the Year favorite right now in Texas, Wyatt Langford, college bat, first-round pick, gets selected. He's having a season where he's making history seemingly on a weekly basis. Shot or no shot, the White Sox screwed up by taking a pitcher.
That's a no shot. That's a no shot. If Crochet's going to be dealt here at the deadline, which is very likely to happen, Hagen Smith, and this is all different, Chris, as you well know, in the college draft. Who knows? Because it's not like the NBA or the NFL draft where you immediately see the player that you draft. I'm just telling you that when you're the White Sox, beggars can't be choosers. They need everything. They need everything. When you're a 71-loss ball club on your way to over 110 losses and you have a farm system that's, just decent, you need to be able to have as many impactful young players that will be in your system for a while. Hagen Smith, who I saw actually pitch at Arkansas, is a hell of an arm, a hell of a hand, and he is going to help this White Sox team if he stays healthy. He's that good. He's one of those guys, Chris, that you're just flipping through the channels. Mm-hmm. You stumble along ESPNU or the SEC network, and all of a sudden you're like, who was that? And it's a guy that was that good. And again, baseball's different from other sports, but Hagen Smith, to me, is the real deal. I saw him. He's fantastic.
I'm going to say no shot, but I will add this. If you are at the bottom and you need everything, what's the quickest way to becoming relevant again? Positional players or starting pitching? I feel as if it's a more risky proposition continuously taking starting pitching, especially when it seems as if they're going to trade Crochet, which I'm against. I don't think they should. If you finally stumble upon someone who seems like a star, don't you want stars on your team for the long haul? He's young. I understand the pushback will be like, well, you can get more prospects. Well, you have a proven commodity here. Why are you moving off of someone who is one of the best pitchers in the first half of baseball this season? I don't get that.
Well, I've been saying, Chris, is that you have to start someplace. Like even in the Bears, you have to be able to say, here's one of our cornerstones we're going to build starting with him.
Exactly.
And if Crochet is traded, I don't know who that is.
Exactly. Hasn't Crochet proven that he's worthy of being a cornerstone?
I would say so.
To this point, so what is a quicker way to rebuild an organization? With arms or with positional players? Because the future doesn't seem very bright for positional stars. Are there positional stars in the system coming up? Colson Montgomery?
if he's a star.
Is he
He's
a
kind of
star?
struggled
I don't know.
in minor league baseball. We'll see.
See,
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying. Like,
I mean, but the risk is that the person that you choose for an offensive player could be Andrew Vaughn, who at this point is a bust.
yeah, he is. You're right. It could go both ways, right? Bust potential is high for young players. I get that. But it seems like an interesting, because what we saw back in 2016 when the Cubs won the World Series, the way they built, they had a bunch of positional young stars, and they paid for pitching or they traded for pitching. So, like, which way is the best way to kind of put together your roster moving forward? Now, I'm going to say no shot, but
Well, Shay, they need it all. I mean, when you have negative WAR players like Benintendi and Maldonado and Vaughn in your lineup on a daily basis, you're not going anywhere.
My issue with it is, I think if you want a quick rebuild, the way to do it is spend through the nose and on major league resources, and we know they aren't going to do that.
Right.
So when it comes to selecting a pitcher, okay, but now I think I would trade Crochet, because at some point you have to get bats in your minor league system by hook or by crook. If you keep Crochet, that's great, but by the time you're good, you're like keeping him, you're only lengthening how long it's going to take you to get good again. By the time you're good, you're going to have to pay him. They've shown no appetite to do that. So
Yeah, I mean,
at that point, I'm like, yeah, maybe you should trade him and just go full youth mode.
what I'm hearing from both of you is that the problem here is the Chicago White Sox.
It all starts with money.
Yeah.
Every
It's-
bit of it. The whole conversation we just had is about money and the lack of spending it.
Yeah.
Where Benintendi is walking around with money falling out of his pockets and a negative WAR and a negative on the ball club. It's embarrassing. It's a 71 loss ball club at the All-Star break. It's the worst we've ever seen.
I said at the start of
On
the start of this year on Carmen and Yurko, I said that I projected 42 wins.
And they laughed at you.
I think I'm still. Well, no, I mean we were kind of joking around with it, but I've stuck to the 42. I think I'm still on pace for it.
I told Cap I thought this was the worst roster I've ever seen in my life. He laughed me out of the room. Preseason.
Shay,
And
good job
now look at him.
with White Sox Weekly on Saturday.
Hey,
I enjoyed
thanks.
it. I
Thanks for
listened.
listening.
Yeah, the drive back from golf. Yeah, it was a good job.
You weren't the only one tuning in.
I didn't say I was the only one.
I just said you're not the only one who tuned in.
Tune in.
See?
Rick
Hahn
was there.
Rick was,
Tune in.
and Chris Getz was tuning in. Step on my joke. Around the NFL is coming up, followed by Jesse Rogers, the latest on MLB at 8:35. Cap and J Hood with Chris Bleck in for Cap on Chicago's Home for Sports.